Hello, this is Dr. Drwendyrowley, the YouTube Wonder of Human Design playlist, and the series How to Have a Peaceful Heart. And I'm going to get out of the way and let's see what Alienia has to say today. Oh, good day to you, dearest beings of light. I'm Alienia of Cosmic Service, a Pleiadian Mother of Sound, a Pleiadian Mother of Sound. I am from the Pleiades, as hard as that is to believe. And we brought our information here, laid it into your grids and time capsules, and that is starting to percolate forward. You are about to enter a great renaissance, despite all that's going on in your world. And there are some people that definitely know that, including President Trump. And he sees that. He has that vision to know that. So be positive and expect the benevolence in all things. That's what we have to say about that. And we don't mean to be political, and we don't mean to give opinions, but there's someone who needed to hear that. Because this one was very surprised we just said that, because she has not had any thoughts like that. So she's like, well, that definitely wasn't me. I didn't influence that. And she didn't. But there's someone that needs to hear that, who is listening to this right now. And you know who you are. You're afraid to go forward in something that you need to do. And we suggest you do it. Okay, that's all we have to say about that. And you're a person who has a huge influence, and we're going to leave that in there so you will know who you are. Okay, so in this episode of this series, episode 2 of How to Have a Peaceful Heart, we would like to go into a little bit more of talking about the heart and explaining it, because it's a confusing thing to people when we just say your heart or your spiritual heart. You have your physical organ of your heart, which is a pump that circulates your blood, and it also helps the oxygen and the lung and the breathing process, and it has an electromagnetic component that allows it to beat, and it has an interface within it that connects to the creational level. Your physical heart is actually connected to the creational level. Once it morphs out of the physical body into the pre or unmanifested stages, depending on whether it's coming in to become a thing or dissolving out to no longer be in that form, for that is change. And change is part of the flow. And we want you to realize that change is part of creation. So, I know we're sorry if we're talking too low. We're going to speak up. So getting back, so the healing, the paradigm of your heart is the physical heart that then can morph into, and it works at the creational level in the spirit body. Your heart that we keep referring to, which we should clarify, and please forgive us for not. We are speaking of, we are spiritual beings, and we are helping you in your understanding of your spiritual nature and your spiritual body that overlays your physical body, because that is our work. We laid those kinds of things into the human consciousness grid and did some things with your 24th chromosome that enabled things to be more interdimensional and have connections to the creative source for the bodies for this planetary system. And then the souls came and occupied the bodies, as strange as that may sound. So the heart at the spirit body level is the most beautiful thing you will ever see. If you could see it with our eyes, you would just drop to your knees in awe. It is the most beautiful thing you will ever see. And we're going to do our best right now to describe it according to how I am trying to get you to see it, through our eyes. Imagine that you see a glowing orb of white, a circle of white, and it's living and scintillating and alive, and it has a consciousness within it. And within the center of that is a golden, beautiful flower And this flower is scintillating and moving to like a musical sound. It has like its own heartbeat. And that is the sound of your soul. That is your soul sound. And your heart connects out above you to the cosmic energy, to the periphery of the planet, into the greater field. And there, it is glowing with sparkles and gold and white, and scintillating colors and sounds interact between you and other souls and other lights of beings who help guide and work the systems here. And the divine intelligence of the creative source goes into some things that then goes into all the souls, and all that becomes alive. And all of you start talking about that impulse from the Creator, and you communicate about it. And that's the greater field. Now imagine that that little ball of consciousness with that glowing, amazingly beautiful heart that's alive in it is going down into the center of the planet, to where your individual soul records are. Some people call it the cave of creation, which is about by 2030 by 2030 that'll be up in the noosphere with the collective. Your individual will be with the collective, but right now it's down in the center of the planet, and that has your individual records in it. And if we were to go down with you and look at it, your heart connection there, you would see the other end of it doing the same dance and scintillating with the crystal there, if we can use metaphors for the best way to describe things. And it scintillates with the crystal, and that crystal is scintillating and communicating and talking with all the little crystals in the cave of creation of all of humanity that are on the human consciousness grid. So you got communication going on here. And it's all very benevolent still, because it's not down at the level of the denser karma and the free will and the acting. And it's beautiful, and you're talking, and you all are planning, and you're making plans and synchronicities. And it's out in the greater field where you're communicating with the divine intelligence of the greater, and soul groups and souls and other energies and other beings, and it's beautiful. So when we look at you now here, we see you with this amazing thing going on, and it goes all the way up, and we see it. We just look at you here now, and we see the one going up out of the field. At the same time, we see the one going on in the cave of creation. That's what it's like for us. And that's very similar to a healer who maybe sees the two soul or pole stars, depending who you're talking to, at the bottom of top of the aura when they gain that type of vision. It's like seeing the same thing for an individual, but it's seeing the individual connected to the group individual and the group up at the noosphere. It's a most beautiful sight. And it's the first thing that you see after you pass your mother when you cross over at the end of your life and go back to soul. You see your mother. You hear these beautiful sounds. The benevolent bands are engaging. You can find out more about this in the series Death, A New Perspective. And you then have the experience of, on some level, of whatever it is for you, for your sensing and seeing and feeling nature of your senses, that whole scene that we just described of your soul. You see your soul next after your mother. And you are in awe, and you think it's God, but it's your soul coming to get you. And around your soul, you see all of the people that your soul interacted with and had loving experiences with. And you'll have to forgive this one for a minute. We have to let her process. Just give her a minute, because she has seen this from the human side in clairvoyance with her father. Before her father actually left his body, she saw him on the other side of the veil with all of these ancestors and grandparents that she knew, and she knew to go up higher in her frequency, and she saw She saw the higher creational beings that also work the grid and the puzzle, comforting the whole soul group. And it was profound, and this is the first time that it's ever been validated to her in any sort of way. So her eyes will well up with tears with spiritual validation. So you might have seen a kind of a wave go through there. And we just wanted you to know that something was going on. So that's the next thing you see is that picture. And it's beautiful. So your heart is amazing. And it is your fundamental frequency, meaning that it's the connection home to the Creator. It is your healing conduit through the Christ being comes through your heart. It is the place of hope, forgiveness, shifting, changing. It is connected to the creational levels, and it is connected to profound ancestral energy. It is connected to profound levels in the noosphere. Your heart is connected to things that humans have no idea of yet. And in approximately 5 years, the beginning of the work will come forward, revolving instruments to be able to see interdimensionally, and those will begin to bring in some new science that will open up people's concepts in physics. And if we were in that moment now, here's what we would say. If you had gotten to that point now, so this is a really big hint, we would say your heart is connected to everything, including everything in your universe and everything in all universes everywhere. And no one ever figured that out yet because they haven't had the ability to do that, but that's coming. And we wanted that statement out there for someone who's going to hear this, who's going to be involved in that work. When you start looking at the heart field, start going to the concept of quantum entanglement and the idea that you go off planet still with that heart frequency, and time is no longer the same in cosmic space as it is in Earth. And that was a huge hint, and that's all we're going to say about that. Okay. So, for all of us here now, in present time, that understanding that how profound your heart is, how beautiful you are, how amazing you are, and yet you carry all of this pain that you feel like is in your heart. And why is that? And how does that happen and work? And we're going to explain that next. Peace be with you. You are dearly loved. Expect benevolence in all you do, and we bid you adieu.